Halloween parade, bro. It's like the one night of the year where we fit in. Cool.
Get back here. What part of moving the shadows don't you understand?
So we can be faithful to the source material of this stuff from putting a giant rhinoceros and warthog in it, but we can't get April O'Neil to be a natural redhead? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Out from the Shadows? Out of the Shadow? I don't know. What is this movie again? Is the second installment of the Michael Bay backed up Ninja Turtle movie. And we continue the story of 4 mutated brothers that are basically 6-foot tall turtles that are ninjas, even though they don't really act like ninjas at all. Now look, coming into this movie, I was hoping that we could get past the origin since we're in the sequel now, and now you could kind of have a little bit of fun with it, which looks like that's what they tried to do. You can tell they heard the complaints of the fans and were like, well, we should probably make this a little bit more colorful and a little more faithful to, you know, the origin. Because just inherently, these characters in this story and this world that they live in is crazy and nuts. I mean, mutated turtles and talking rats and living under the sewers and ninjas. And I think that's where the first movie fell flat on its face. It was just trying to take itself way too seriously. So this movie was kind of nice that they're embracing sort of the goofiness of the world. And it still feels like the Ninja Turtles are a staple of nostalgia that people love to have on clothing and backpacks and such. So I think it's safe to say to some extent that the Ninja Turtles are still a part of our culture and our society. And I think it's that kind of goofiness that stands out in this film. You know, a couple of the moments in the trailers that we see are they are driving like a huge garbage truck and it's shooting manhole covers and things like that. And I am all for that. All that kind of craziness is awesome. Krang is in this movie now, who is from the universe of the Ninja Turtles, and he was pretty cool. But unfortunately, with all this kind of coolness that you could have had, I found myself looking at my watch trying to see when it would end. And I came out of this movie wondering why that was, and I think it kind of just comes down to the fun moments are far and few between. A lot of the best moments are what you see in the trailer. And like I said, I'm all for suspension of disbelief, especially coming into a movie like this where inherently it's going to be a little colorful and a little schlocky. So those moments were not the problem though. The problem was kind of the stories that are intertwined with each other and motivations of characters and why one scene leads to another. It just doesn't make any sense, and I think they could have used a little more time on the writing to make things a little more coherent and make things just make a little more sense. Because you could almost pick out of every scene a decision that a character makes, and you kind of just scratch your head. There's a lot of moments in this movie where they're just, you want to facepalm yourself because you don't know why they're trusting people or why they do certain things or why they act a certain way. And it comes to a point where it's really hard to overlook that. Also, the score of this movie sounds relatively close to the Transformers soundtrack. I mean, they could have like just picked a track that didn't fit in Transformers Extinction and we're like, well, let's just drop it into the Ninja Turtles movie. So that was kind of a bummer. But let's talk about a couple more of the positives. I think the chemistry between the 4 turtles in and of itself, the tension that they had and kind of the conflicts and mentality that the movie presents is really well done, and you kind of buy it. And I think that's a testament to the motion capture guys and the voice acting and, well, the acting in general of these people. And you kind of buy their relationship more in this movie, and they're in this movie a lot more than they were in the first one, so that's kind of a plus. And I think they look a little bit better in this movie too. I think they've improved on the graphics. I mean, sure, a couple scenes still look a little bit janky. I can't fully get behind the character design of the turtles now. I mean, I get that you have to differentiate, but I mean, isn't that what the colors of the masks are for? To, you know, oh, there's blue turtle. Raphael and Leonardo, they have pretty good designs for the most part. I mean, they look beefed up and they look kind of like the cartoon on Saturday morning. But Donatello looks like a frog and Michelangelo still looks like Shrek. So, I mean, what can you do with that? So overall, I think I had almost as equal enjoyment as I did the first time around, which to me is kind of like a mixed bag. It has its moments and it has its scenes that shine through, but those are too far and few between that to me, I don't think it holds up, and that's unfortunate. So I'm giving Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of Shadows a 2.5 out of 5.